Hello everyone, Fatty here with a morning live trading session. This is a recording I do every morning. So let's just get into some of the plays I want to watch. So we got IVDA, multi-day bounce here that we're looking for. Failure breakdown past the 120s, 130s. Start looking for that high day break. After some consolidation, ideally we see some volume pick up just to set up for that bounce play. And then same deal with IREN. This one's trying to hold, but no volume at all with both of these plays. So still waiting for that to come in. Checking out SIDU, kind of iffy pre-market, but if it can hold up, failed to break down. It's got some news with SpaceX, so not that high of a float. Already is done just under half of it. So going to look for failure to break down, reclaim of open price, VWAP, and hold of those levels for a possible move to at least retest the one area. But after that, there is resistance in the 120s or so. So there is some range from the 80 cent area here. So just waiting for this to fail to break down. WINT. This one, low market cap, pretty low float for the price it's at. Spiking nicely. Didn't even see this one after hours, it was moving. So let's see the daily chart. Alright, so it has some resistance around 25. So we either can play the open price if you want to claim to test the breakout level and see if it could push higher, or just play it safe and wait for the breakout to confirm. Right now, off of that area about 15%, so let's see what it can do. It's been 1 minute, so let's give these plays some time to figure out which direction they want to head into. IVDA showing that it might want to give some bounce today. So far holding red green. So let's see how this thing holds around red green. It's going to be a key level. See if it can bottom out, or if it's just going to break it. Sellers take over, which here they are, they do. Big time, that's a huge drop. LLAP, not bad of an option. Looks like a slower mover kind of play. Bigger market cap, bigger float. I'm probably going to just stay away from that play. So right now, just trying to see what can hold up. Does not look like it's SIDU. that's moved recently. Is this a bounce play I completely forgot about? Let's see. No. Never qualified for a bounce, but here we are. If this can get to the high threes, we got a solid breakout setting up. So waiting for 370s, 380s to become support. So I'd give this some time. Likely will be choppy until then. IVDA, nice push. Okay, let's just see how this sets up. Ideally consolidates for a few minutes before it starts breaking high a day again. Like what it did here. I would have liked a few more minutes of it holding up. But I know I saw WINT bottoming out. Yep, here is at 25. That's a strong push from open price VWAP claim. So let's see here for higher lows and confirmation of around 25, where there is second resistance here on the daily chart. We got strong volume. It's going to rotate the float today. If it can just keep uptrending and bringing in this kind of demand, we can see pre-market highs of around 30. That's a decent angle to have. Might have some trouble around 27, but for now, let's just see how this uptrends and what strength it shows. And then if this sets up the way I want, we'll get in with a starter with 5,000 shares, just about $1,000. But right now, some decent selling. Let's see how much the selling pressure keeps coming through. If it keeps fading, might see some buyers start coming in. Right now, just a waiting game. As we saw yesterday, a lot of the open price VWAP claims just did not set up that great, and there's only one that was just back and forth. That was CMMB. Besides that, MOB. What else was there? I forgot what other tickers, but there was a few that looked like they could have been something, but ended up failing. So let's be patient, as overall market, as we've said before, seems like it's kind of shifting momentum. We might not have the action we had last month. We'll still have a play or two a day, maybe, but they might not be taken off for as much as we expect for what we've seen. So just take it a trade at a time. That's why I like to play things conservatively. Just let the singles add up and don't need to trade every day. IVDA here looks interesting. Don't like the spread though. The spread is make me very nervous. If they can just tighten up, I would like to be in. But right now, that spread is just showing how weak the volume is. Not enough buyers trying to push this thing. Right now, a little better. 140, 142. would like to see more volume on the buying side come through here. We just had some decent selling, pushes thing lower, but still it held right around open price and made a higher low. So if we can get strong volume to come back, that will be the confirmation that this is likely a higher low and that this wants to push higher and that it has the momentum for it. You don't want to be buying right into this. This is almost, what, like 8% from the open price as it just bursts right through it. So I don't want to chase buying in what could be a double top here, risking it. So let's reduce our risk and wait for a dip buy opportunity, something where we can get closer to the risk level, which at the moment looks like it's going to be 22. Got some strong demand. That's looking good. It just started this minute pretty much and is already doing more than the previous one. There it is. Yeah, 22, 22 and a half could have been a good dip buy opportunity. Just wanted to wait a bit longer. Didn't think it would just take off like this. Damn, like if I was in around 22, 23, here 10, 15, 20% here coming in. Looking like that's a misplay. That's kind of annoying. Here it is, making new highs on the day. Pushing higher, nice, 28 now. Getting right to that 30-cent region I was thinking we can get to. Here's 29 high a day, fantastic. So, then you got excessive volume that's likely unsustainable. Who knows how much further this can go. At this point, I would have been selling thinking this is topping action. I could be wrong about the volume, but this looks absolutely insane what it's doing. Can it keep bringing in this kind of volume and keep pushing higher? I personally don't think so right now. But hey, I was just wrong a few minutes ago. That was a good opportunity to buy. Could have just went small size, but hey, that's hindsight. So WINT, open price VWAP per claim after the failure to break down. Was on watch, just didn't set up the way I would have liked. I felt as though I would have been chasing if the ideal entry is around 22 and a half, 23, and it was pushing 24, 25, because the risk level really 22. Once it breaks 22, most likely heads down and breaks 21, and from there we got new lows. So that's what happens. Sometimes sticking to your rules puts you on, the side of safety too much occasionally, but in the long run, I am okay with it. It's not like I don't nail plays. I don't know how to trade. Just missing a couple plays here recently. Being a bit too patient and picky, but that's okay. In a market where things seem like they're turning, I will take that approach, even if I miss a play or two. There's 30. Nice. Incredible. Yeah, this is just one that I just keep coming back and peeking at and regretting that I have rules. I'm joking. Here we are. Ooh. HOTH. I know it has that resistance in 370s, 380s. Super low float. That's holding up, confirming right around the open price of EWAP. I know open price is down at 3, but the fact that in my eyes that it comes back kind of in that zone to the low 3s, gets into the 320s here, and still fails to break down, holds up. I am seeing that as a confirmation of the open price. It doesn't have to get back all the way to the open price or below it to really start confirming that area. It could be above. So that's why we look at each key price more as a key price area, not just a specific level. So the low 3s here kept holding, and that's leading to this nice bounce here. Volume is coming back. Selling pressure died off down here in the 320s. Super low float. I don't see why this doesn't send it to 4 in the near future. Give me a higher low. Okay, let's see if I go in here on 340s, risking about 20 cents. Say 25. See, now it's getting carried away. I don't want to be buying it in the 350s plus, risking off the 320 area. 340s, 330s maybe if I'm on super small size. Like we're thinking we can get 15% out of this at least. Oh, here's WINT. That just keeps going. Jesus Christ. Okay, so here we got that overhead resistance. Volume today pretty strong. Will likely outdo what it did here last Wednesday. So 375 is the high here. Yeah, after that, 4, but ultimately the low to mid 4s is where I'd be looking for this to have some trouble in. If I go in with about 300 shares, just about $1,000, I'm risking 60, 70 bucks. Make double that. Okay. I like that volume that's coming in. Alright. I got 300 shares at 49. I know it is a chase, but I got it to a point with the size where if I do lose, I am only losing maximum $100. And if I win, maybe if we get the opportunity to add some more, we'll be looking for it to get to the low 4s, give us a solid 10-15% opportunity. I am not too happy with this entry, but super small size, so that's the only reason I'm here for it. It's the only way I would approach this right now. I wouldn't be going my normal size. Like this is a small starter. Usually my starters are about 800-900, or excuse me, 1200, 1500 if I'm excited about the play, but this one not too much. I'm seeing that this thing's holding, but I don't know how much momentum it's got left in the tank. We got some solid volume exhaustion here. Just want to keep seeing higher lows. So 142 for IVDA will be the key area to look at for the break. Ideally some volume comes behind it. Just having a hard time getting into the 370s makes complete sense here. This is why I usually would like to wait for the breakout level and not buy it below, because as long as you're below the price level, you're going to have some sellers coming in and some short sellers pushing this lower and trying to push it lower and making it a hard, you know, time moving higher and giving it a choppy grind. Um, so that's why I usually wait for the breakout to happen, the confirmation of that level, and then from there you usually get cleaner moves as shorts are getting out, locking in um, their losses likely, um, as well as any buyers recognizing the breakout start joining the party. So you get a much more one-sided move compared to when it's below the breakout level. And here we are, still figuring out which direction it wants. Yes, it's uptrending, but a few minutes it's spiking up. The next 10 it's fading. Here we are, a few minutes spiking up. And now a few minutes right now just consolidating, still trying to make a higher low. So this just makes sense to me, the way it's moving. So far, scanners, these gapper, not money gappers at all. And we can ignore, which one was it? LLAP, one of them that's a bigger company that's moving slower. So we got WINT. This one's holding up nicely. If this fails to break down, that could lead to higher prices. Shorts getting squeezed. HOTH is another one. That's the second biggest percent gainer here on watch. So having eyes on it and already being up, that could lead to higher prices if shorts fail to break this down. Just a simple squeeze is what we're looking for. TMDI, this is a continuation of the bounce play from yesterday. Let's check out AMRS. That's too big of a market cap for my liking. HOTH, not bad of a watch. It is a good option here. I just am not a huge fan of where I got in. Um, so let's see what this does. Just a waiting game here. Is trying to make this higher low. They can keep making a higher low, and then we get some strong demand coming through. I will consider adding, but right now, got this strong volume perk, and now it's figuring out what it wants to do. As we learned recently, with a couple of plays I've taken losses on, um, stay away from conflicting factors. Usually, that's a gamble. You don't know which way it's going to head into. Wait till it's more one-sided, and you can get a better read on the play. So I definitely won't be adding on in this play until I see a little bit more of a hold here. But we need that volume. That's really going to be what triggers me getting enticed to add more to the play. See, it's just trying to hold, but no volume. It keeps fading and fading. Made me think we might start pushing lower here soon. IVDA trying to make a higher low. Keep holding VWAP. As we saw with yesterday, TMDI, it was very low volume the whole time it was setting up until it snapped over that high. Once people have had enough of the uptrending and failure to push lower. Right now, I do like how it's been almost half an hour and this thing is still holding up decently. So that can lead to a possible break over the high as people who are shorting this recognize as not really breaking down. It's got some support and bottoming action around the 130s, 120s here past few days. So we'll keep an eye on this for volume to come back. As we hear, let me show you TMDI in case you didn't see it yesterday. So early on, I ignored this because there really wasn't much volume and it kept uptrending and setting up for the multi-day bounce. And once it did, snapped over that high, that's when really all the volume came through and you got this more one-sided push. So we'll give IVDA a shot. We'll still keep this on watch for that 142 break. At the moment, still kind of annoyed with how WINT worked out. It just took off. I saw that volume perk could have been quick enough, but I'm whatever the case, I was sticking to my rules, and whatever I say now is just emotions. It is what it is. It sucks that I missed it. It's part of the game. It just hurts. This was one of my top plays on watch, and it just does that. HOTH really reminding me of CMMB yesterday. Super low float, just couldn't pick a direction. Just very choppy, playing within a range. 1 minute you think it's going to work, then it slows down. Volume completely fades. It gets stuffed. Fails to break down because sellers don't come through. And it's just a whole back and forth between sellers not coming through and buyers not coming through. honestly, I'm moving my stop loss to 330 here. This is a trash play, and I'm finding myself stuck in it because of emotions. I missed WINT, so I gave this one a shot. Um, Managing it pretty well, but still, there's no need to waste $60. IVDA looking not bad here. Kind of digging this play. I just really want this to get back to the 370s. Get to that breakout level. And I'll be more confident in it. See how it reacts to that area. HOTH holding decently right now. But no matter what the price action is, this volume is not it. Just is not. It's not going to make a move off this kind of volume. IVDA, I'm going to go in with a starter. Here. 1,000 shares on this one. Okay, so just round up. I'm in at 145,000 shares. I will definitely be looking to add heavy onto this play. This is my favorite pattern. Again, a little bit of increase in volume here. Breaking to new highs after some consolidation, making a higher low, making VWAP support. And over the past few days, just having a hard time really breaking down. At first, you got that 130, 131 hold. Makes a higher low the day after, but then yesterday, we get a push lower, but insignificant volume, and then it starts pushing to new highs, showing some strength that it doesn't want to go lower, and it is going to try and give a bounce. So today was probably my top play, besides some of the gappers like WINT and HOTH. Um, yeah, so just setting up nicely here, continuing the higher lows. We really just need the volume to come through if this is going to give us a nice squeeze. Only thing I don't like with this is I am buying it roughly, it's 14% up on the day. On average, this play moves about 30%. So I already have half of the range to work with. Let me just calculate just so I know what we're going to be getting to. Could be getting to. We got 127. Okay, so this could get to the 165 area. That marks 30% from 127 previous close. So even if I don't get an ad and it does push 20 cents, that's not bad either. Here's this thing. You know what, screw it, I'm not waiting for the 330s. This is looking weak. I recognize its weakness. I just been giving it a chance like a fool. All right, out of 36. So not bad. 13 cents there. $40 loss. 39 or so, right? Yeah. So now let's focus on IVDA. If HOTH comes back, just we'll be waiting for that 375 breakout level. Besides that, not interested. Yeah, morning. IVDA is the only thing I'm really watching. Everything else, I don't really see anything. Scanners, WINT, that's a missed out play. Maybe after some more consolidation, we'll try and maybe get a high day break. Let's look at other key levels on WINT. That just hurts to look at. So, great call here with the breakout over 25 and the open price play. Tested that roughly 30-cent area where pre-market highs are, as well as around 33 here. After that, we can see a test 37, maybe 40. So that still gives us a decent angle from the low 30s here, 33 area for the high day break to give us a push to the high 30s, 40 region, 15-20% opportunity. But I would like to wait for that. Right now, that is, I think, one of the best setups, WINT and IVDA. Nothing else is really holding up and trying to move. LLAP went over that, too big of a company for my liking. Same with BKD. So HOTH, if that holds up and comes back, like I said, could trigger a possible move higher to the low fours. Ideally, we get an entry in the 370s. I don't want to be getting it again below that, as it's a choppy play. See what it's doing now. Yeah, still fading. No volume. That's really the key right now as well. No volume behind this. So WINT, HOTH. That's kind of it. Everything else is kind of out of my range. AMRS, BKD, LLAP. Not that they can't move. I just think they have lower odds of moving. And what we're trying to do here in this game is just to line up the odds in our favor. IVDA here continuing to make a higher low. I might be adding into this soon. And if I do, I wouldn't mind just taking my quick snipe into the 160 area. To that point, I'll have at least 2,000 shares. So if it gets to 160, that'll be good. $300-400. We'll see. But still a waiting game here. Don't want to get too excited about that. not much here. I might be wrapping this up here. I don't want to just stay quiet. I don't really have anything to talk about. Go over IVDA not moving yet, but this is probably one of the two plays I will leave you with, three rather. As I went over multiple times, just gonna keep watching for that hold of the high. Ideally, volume comes in so we can get a strong bounce, but right now, really still on the fence. It is showing some decent price action, but volume isn't there to support it, and that's suspicious. I don't like being a part of those plays. As you can see with HOTH, volume just completely fades off, just like CMMB from yesterday. So here it is, just fading, weak volume. $40 loss here, roughly. So not too bad for being emotional, at least, because I missed WINT and then decided to attack this. That was kind of a bad decision. Only good thing I did do on it was just go in with super small size. And WINT erred on the side of caution. Ended up paying for it this time as it ripped from the 23, 24 region to the 33 area, all within about 10 minutes. So that could have been a great opportunity. That was one of my top plays coming into the market. Just didn't shape up the way I wanted, didn't want to chase, and it just took off without me. So good recognition of the pattern psychology in the play, the volume, reading all of that. Just my ideal entry was closer to the 22s, and this thing was pushing up 10% or so in a few minutes on decent volume. Felt as if it was a chase, so it is what it is. So I will leave you guys with that. HOTH likely doesn't do anything, but if it does come back to the 370s for a breakout, that could be a possible play for it to test the low fours. IVDA still looking for that continuation higher. Won't do it without volume, or it can. The odds are pretty low. We saw KPRX last week where that had a low volume bounce. Very weird, but gave 20% push. Just about what this thing's doing. I still have not added in this thing yet. The low volume is making me hesitate. So we'll see how this shapes up. But yeah, so IVDA and WINT, keep on watch for possible continuations higher, different plays. Here we got the multi-day bounce. WINT looking for shorts to fail to break this down, and we get a squeeze higher past high a day to test the 40-cent area, anywhere from 37 to 40 cents. That should give you a good angle to profit off of. So that's that. And HOTH, as we said, if it comes back to 370s. Besides that, very weak morning. Overall market's red. Damn near nothing on the scanners, just one solid play. This feels like the majority of 2022, where a lot has slowed down after 2020, 2021, and you're still getting plays, but you got to be a lot more meticulous. Not everything's running. You're not getting a play every 5 minutes the way we did last month. So this is a slowdown I keep talking about, and we'll adapt to it. So yeah, I'll just leave you guys with ooh, WINT, nice move. But yeah, we'll come back later. I do have some time today to watch the market later on from my laptop. So hopefully we get something then, and I could have a nice trade recording. But this one was pretty boring. Just a small loss on HOTH, missed WINT, and still waiting on IVDA. So boring morning. We'll just wrap it up here. I don't want to just give a boring and quiet recording here. So this is also how I trade. If I don't really see anything within the first, usually half an hour, I pushed it a bit longer here, but usually 20-30 minutes. If I don't really see anything, I'm usually out. I'll start peeking in every few minutes after that from my phone, but I got other stuff to do. Don't want to just sit behind a screen while nothing shapes up. I'm not taking advantage of WINT. So yeah, we'll just wrap this up. Hope this was useful.